Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Indiana Pacers. Now, some of y'all are laughing at that right now. Why is he saying the Pacers going to play the Philadelphia 76ers? What is he thinking saying that? How could he say that? Why is he saying it? People, it's simple. They're the only team in the Eastern Conference that matches up personnel-wise with the Philadelphia 76ers. The front court, listen, people, the front court of Zubac and Pascal Siakam matches up perfectly with Joel Embiid and LeBron James. Once you got the front court matched up, you good. Remember, now some of y'all saying the Knicks just won the championship. Why is he not talking about the Knicks? Because they lost the only guy that could potentially help them against Joel Embiid. Because we all know that Karl-Anthony Towns is not going to be able to handle Joel Embiid. The only guy that could potentially help them is with the Boston Celtics now, and that's Mitchell Robinson. So you lost your anchor on defense in the front court to Boston, one of your rivals. So now, what does that leave? Who does that leave, people? That leaves the Indiana Pacers with now, and I'm not saying Zubac is like this defensive stopper or nothing like that. But in terms of size in the front court, that's the perfect matchup. Now you want to talk about guards. You want to talk about guards, you know. The Indiana Pacers clearly still have Tyrese Halliburton to match up with Tyrese Maxey. Now they're lacking in some areas, but they still have, like I said, the front court is there. Like, prime stuff, right? Let's look at Indiana's roster. Let's look at the Indiana Pacers. Let's pull up the Indiana Pacers roster, right? Let's see who they have. They still have Andrew Nembhard. They still got Aaron Nesmith. You know, the roster is still intact. They still got Obi Toppin. People forget about him. Jarris Walker. They got Kelly Oubre. They still got TJ McConnell. So, listen. I think that Indiana, and I firmly believe Indiana might make an in-season move as well. If the season starts off right for Indiana in terms of win-loss percentage, I can see Indiana making another move and going to get somebody. Heck, let's not forget DeRozan is still a free agent. They can bring DeRozan in off the bench. There's still guys out there that they can sign. And it's also still a possibility that they can make some in-season moves. The season hasn't begun yet, and the season hasn't ended yet. Don't sleep on the Indiana Pacers, people. I'm telling y'all right now. It might sound crazy and far-fetched talking about it at the moment, but let's not forget, this team made it to the NBA championship 2 years ago. They made it to the finals 2 years ago, people, versus OKC, and could have potentially won if Tyrese Halliburton didn't get hurt. So don't be shocked if they're in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Like I said, this is going to be an interesting season because no team is just overly loaded with talent. For the most part, every team is balanced out well. Every team is balanced out well in the East and in the West. There's parity, as they would like to say, in the league now. So I fully expect this to be one of the best NBA seasons ever. Just because there's no quote unquote super team. Everybody is on an even playing field this year. And I think that's what's gonna help. Listen, if you look at the West and you look at the East, gone are the days. Absolutely gone are the days of there being nobody. Listen, absolutely gone are the days of there being only 2 or 3 teams in the whole NBA. when it was Golden State with Durant, while LeBron was with Cleveland. Long are the days gone where there's just two teams that potentially have a chance. Those days are over. Now, you're not really gonna have that many rest days in the NBA this year. In the East, it's not gonna be a rest too many days where it's like, oh well, this is an automatic win for us, so we ain't gotta go out there and try as hard. Or in the Western Conference, oh, this is an automatic win for us, so we don't have to really go out there and try as hard. This is not gonna be one of those scenarios this year, people, where there's only two teams that have a chance of doing anything or have a chance at making it. No, this year in the NBA, there's going to be a bloodbath in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference where you can lose on a nightly basis to anybody. That's how I see the NBA playing out this year, where you can lose to anybody and anybody can beat anybody. But I firmly believe Indiana if Tyrese Halliburton comes back healthy, he missed the entire year last year. He missed the entire season. He comes back healthy and dedicated like he was before, Indiana gonna be a problem. I listen, currently this is my standings in the East right now. I have the Eastern Conference being the Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, and the Indiana Pacers being the top three teams in the East, followed by Cleveland, and then everybody else falls in line where they may. I got those as the top four teams. The Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, the Indiana Pacers, and the Cleveland Indians. And the Cleveland Cavaliers. I got those as the top four teams in the East. And I got Indiana being, like I said, the second best. I got Indiana being the team that the Philadelphia 76ers face in the Eastern Conference Finals. Of course, this all boils down to the battle of nutrition. Can all of these guys stay healthy? When you get to the playoffs, can everybody stay healthy? Can LeBron James in his age 40-something season, can he stay healthy? Can Joel Embiid, who's never been healthy, can he stay somewhat healthy? Can he survive into the playoffs? And then in the playoffs, can he survive? Can Tyrese Maxey stay injury prone? Can James Harden, can Donovan Mitchell, can they too big? Can Tyrese Halliburton recapture what he once was? Can Zubac stay healthy? Can Brunson, can Karl Anthony Towns, can all of these guys withstand the injury bug or make it back in time before the injury bug destroys them? I firmly believe LeBron is probably going to get a ring this year. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. The team is built perfect. You got scoring off the bench. Everything is aligned perfectly for LeBron. There's no real distractions. You're not at home. You're not on the West Coast. You're in a city where the sports fans are crazy about their teams, and you just focus on basketball. None of the guys on the team are prima donnas. You got a young Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe going to want to pick your brain 24/7 and bug you. You got Joel Embiid, who's clinging on to his NBA life, but it's still in his prime. You got Jaylen Brown, fresh off of being disrespected, ready to prove something even more, and also as a champion. So you got a lot of things working in your favor going to Philly, just from a pure basketball standpoint. You got a lot of things in your favor, man. And you ain't gonna LeBron not gonna have to do any of the heavy lifting. No heavy lifting from him. You got guys that can score at will. You got guys that can rebound. You got guys that can literally do it all, to where you're not gonna have to do as much. It's the perfect scenario for him. It's a dream scenario in terms of basketball. The focus is gonna be specifically on basketball and nothing else. You ain't gotta worry about your family and all that, trying to get tickets and all that. Now, Philadelphia isn't like a king's ransom distance away from Cleveland, but you still in close proximity. think about it, right? He's playing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but LeBron still is close to New York. He's still close to New York. He's still close to Jersey. So you want fine dining and all that, and certain nights out, you go to New York, you go to Jersey. Cleveland's not that far away. Check in and out at home. Make sure things are good. And, you know, this is a kid. This is a man that's from the East Coast, from the East Coast / Midwest. Like, this is the perfect. You got grown men in that locker room. Jaylen Brown, grown man. Joel Embiid, you know, he got ties with him from Team USA. Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, two young guys who want to see and pick the brain of one of the greats. You got a championship coach. You got maturity in the front office. Like, LeBron is going to be in a bubble, people. But I think the only team that will give them a run for their money, well, I mean, you know, I believe all 4 of the top teams in the East are good. And I think all 3 of the teams under Philly, which is Cleveland, this is no order, Cleveland, Indiana, and New York, they going to make the series interesting. They're going to be interesting series, no doubt about it. Like, those series are going to be interesting. Those are going to be some interesting series. But the thing is, who's going to win? Who's going to win out of those 3 teams when it comes to facing? Who's going to win out of those 3 teams when it comes to facing the Philadelphia 76ers? Because it can only be one. It's not going to be 2 out of those 4 teams. It's going to be 1 out of those 3 teams that faces LeBron and the Philadelphia 76ers. So out of Cleveland, New York, and Indiana, which one of those 3 teams in the end is going to face the Philadelphia 76ers? That's the question. Which one of those teams? Because I can tell you right now, in the Western Conference, it's a toss-up, but 9 times out of 10, it's either going to be OKC or San Antonio. But in the East, it's about who's facing Philly in the who's facing the 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's all it is. We already know the 76ers. We already know the 76ers are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now the only question now is, who are they going to be facing? And that's what the gauntlet is going to be. Who's facing the 76ers? I believe it's going to be Indiana. I just feel like they, from a matchup standpoint, in the front court, they match up best. I could be wrong. Now, some of y'all might say, look at Cleveland's front court. Yeah, but unless the one kid, I forgot, not Jared Allen, but the other kid, I forget his name. Unless he takes a giant leap this year, LeBron would just bully him. So, what y'all think? I got Indiana versus Philly in the Eastern Conference Finals.